In a world far removed from the comforts of modernity, life was not measured in decades, but in fleeting years. What if I told you there was a time when surviving past your teenage years was a rare achievement? A time when the mere act of staying alive each day was the ultimate battle? Today, we'll uncover the gripping story of human ancestors who faced this brutal reality, one that makes our modern struggles seem trivial in comparison. While today we often worry about living longer, healthier lives, our ancient ancestors barely had the chance to worry at all. Their lifespans were shockingly short, and their existence was a constant fight against nature. But why was their time on Earth so brief? And how did we manage to extend our years from mere tens to nearly a century? To answer these questions, we must take a step back, millions of years back, to meet the earliest members of our human family. Let's meet our first ancestors, the Australopithecus, who walked the Earth 4 million years ago. Our journey begins with Australopithecus, a small-brained, bipedal creature that roamed the savannas of Africa. These early humans lived in a world dominated by predators. Lions, leopards, and hyenas were constant threats. With no tools, no weapons, and no fire, they relied on their wits and agility to survive. Imagine this. You're a young Australopithecus, no older than 10, and you're already expected to forage for food while keeping an eye out for danger. Life was cruelly short. Most Australopithecus didn't live past 12 years. If you survived to adulthood, you were a rarity, a living legend among your kind. But survival came at a cost. Injuries from predators often led to infections, and with no understanding of medicine, even a small wound could be fatal. Their lives were fleeting, their days numbered. Yet, despite this, they paved the way for something extraordinary, the birth of innovation. And this spark would grow brighter with our next ancestor, Homo erectus. Homo erectus appeared about 2 million years ago, and they were unlike anything the world had seen before. They were the first to control fire, a groundbreaking invention that allowed them to cook food, ward off predators, and survive colder climates. But don't be fooled, life was still perilous. These adventurers were pioneers, migrating out of Africa into unfamiliar territories. Injuries during hunts were common, and without modern medical care, even minor accidents could spell the end. Their lifespan? Barely 20 years. Yet, Homo erectus had something special. They shared knowledge across generations. This ability to teach and learn allowed them to create tools and build small communities, laying the groundwork for future human survival. But as they ventured further, the challenges only grew. That our next ancestor, the Neanderthals, would rise and fall. Their story is one of strength, resilience, and tragic loss. Neanderthals were built for survival. Stocky, strong, and intelligent, they thrived in the freezing climates of Europe and Asia. Yet, even with their physical advantages, their lives were short and full of hardship. Imagine braving sub-zero temperatures with only animal hides for warmth, hunting dangerous prey with rudimentary spears. Every day was a fight for survival. The average Neanderthal lived just 30 to 35 years, and few saw the dawn of old age. Their survival depended on cooperation and community, but their small numbers made them vulnerable. As Homo sapiens entered the scene, competition for resources became fierce. What happened next? The rise of Homo sapiens and the eventual extinction of the Neanderthals, a tale as tragic as it is fascinating. Homo sapiens, our direct ancestors, appeared around 200,000 years ago. At first, their lives were just as harsh as their predecessors. Starvation, violent conflicts, and exposure to the elements ensured that most didn't live past 30 years. But something remarkable happened. Homo sapiens began forming larger communities. They created tools, shared stories, and developed early forms of medicine. These small but significant changes laid the foundation for longer lives. However, survival wasn't guaranteed. The next chapter of our story brings a paradox: the agricultural revolution, a time of both progress and peril. With the advent of farming 10,000 years ago, humans transitioned from nomadic lifestyles to settled communities. This revolution provided stable food supplies but came with a cost: new diseases, poor nutrition, and the challenges of overcrowded living conditions. The average lifespan barely improved, often staying below 40 years. Yet, this period marked a turning point in human history. It was the beginning of society as we know it. But progress came with new dangers. In the medieval era, plagues and wars would once again bring lifespans crashing down. In the Middle Ages, life expectancy plummeted. The Black Death alone wiped out nearly a third of Europe's population. Poor sanitation and constant wars ensured that the average lifespan rarely exceeded 30 years. It was a dark time, but even in this grim reality, the seeds of modern medicine and science were being sown. The Renaissance would bring hope and change, setting the stage for longer, healthier lives. Today, we live in a world where 80 years is the norm, not the exception. Vaccines, antibiotics, and technology have transformed human life, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. But let us not forget the journey that brought us here, a journey of struggle, resilience, and triumph. And as we reflect on this progress, we honor the sacrifices of those who came before us. If you've enjoyed this journey through time, like and subscribe to join us for more stories of the past that shape our future.